What's up, Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my March 2025 reading wrap up, and I did not read all that much because March was a hot mess. However, I did get to most of my books that I assigned to myself for the Celtophile Readathon. That was a huge success, and I just want to say thank you to my three co-hosts, Margaret, Elaine, and Philip. Thank you so much for helping me out and spreading the word. And then thank you to all of the participants. I loved hearing about the books and poems and short stories that you were reading for the Celtophile Readathon. I'll note the books that were read for the Celtophile Readathon, and then the other ones, they weren't. But I read 7 books for the month of March. First one that I read was Sociopath, a memoir by Patrick Gagney. I did not rate it because it's a memoir, but I read and enjoyed it. That was for the first prompt of the Celtophile Readathon. It was read a book with a white, green, orange, or all 3 colors, and Sociopath has half white, so I counted it. The other half is a childhood picture of Patrick. I did do a book review on that. It's coming out shortly. If you want to watch it, I highly recommend this memoir. Number 2, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales by Heather Fawcett. 5 stars, perfect. Absolutely adore it. It's also bittersweet because it's the last book in the series. I totally understand, but I just kind of want it to go on and on. Maybe a collection of short stories. Yes, Heather? I would love to see that. I did a book review on that. You might have to go searching for it a little bit because I did honestly publish a lot of videos in March, but it's a rave review, so check that out if you're interested. That's not part of the Celtophile Readathon, though it could have counted if I tried hard enough to like slip it in, because it's about fairies and it's very focused on Celtic folklore and myths about the Fae, but then there's also Germanic and Norse fays in this novel, in this whole series, I should say. Very interesting, love to see it, and I recommend that series all the time. Number 3, Timeline by Michael Crichton. I think I said that correctly, I don't know. That's 2 stars. I listened to the audiobook with my husband because we watched the movie. I think the movie is better than the book. Hot take, baby. Yes, I am today. Just swinging it out there. It's better in movie form. On Letterboxd and Goodreads, I had so many people saying the movie is trash and the book is a masterpiece. Okay, well, it's not. Moving on to number 4, Pride of Lions by Morgan Llewellyn. 5 stars. I did a book review on that. That is for the Celtophile Readathon, and it was about reading an Irish historical novel. Y'all know that I love Morgan. I love everything about Morgan Llewellyn, how she writes, well, almost everything. We'll get to that later. But it was actually better than the first book about Brian Boru. Pride of Lions follows his youngest son, Prince Dawn, and all the things that happened there after Brian was assassinated. Number 5, Boys in the Valley by Philip Fracassi. Read but not rated. By page 53, yes, very specific, but by page 53, I knew the middle and the end. And then I kept reading because I was like, I mean, this could be originally done. It's about a orphanage in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, that is taken over by demons, and it's said to be like The Exorcist and Lord of the Flies, which, yeah, kind of, but I think Philip wrote a very formulaic book that, as a writer and a huge reader of horror, I just figured out the whole story by page 53. That's not saying that it's a bad book. I just know how to create stories and where to place things ever so slightly that I just know what was going to happen. Because like I said, it was formulaic. So I didn't rate it. I know a lot of readers that aren't writers really adore this novel. And I'm sure there's other writers that adore this novel. Lots of people adore it, okay? So I wasn't going to rate it. I don't know what I would rate it anyway. And if I'm thinking on it a little too long, I'm not going to rate a book because it's just a waste of my time. And really, the stars don't matter. It's on Goodreads, a website that might or might not last for another 10 years. Like, it doesn't, it's fine. I recommend it if you're interested in the idea of The Exorcist meets Lord of the Flies. It's just, for me, I guessed the whole book because of how it's written. That doesn't mean it's bad. You see what I'm saying? If you don't, sorry. If you do, check it out. And that was for the Messed Up Book Club. It wasn't part of the Celtophile Readathon. Number 6, The Toyn by Anonymous, because it's really, really old story. I read it, but not rated. That thing is like 2,000 years old, 3,000 years old. I don't rate books that old. And it's not really a book. It's not really a novella. It's a saga. It's an epic saga. An Irish epic saga, to be precise. I should have started off with that, sorry. But we follow Cuchulainn and Queen Maeve with her husband. And it's all about the cattle raid of Cooley, because Queen Maeve and her husband, in the beginning, are trying to figure out who's richer. And it turns out that her husband has one stud bull that is better than hers. So then Queen Maeve's like, that's absolutely wrong. I'm not going to live my life with your one special stud bull. So we're going to go to Ulster and we're going to steal the brown bull and just raid everything else, because why not? And the only person that can stop Queen Maeve and her husband's army is Cuchulainn, because the other Ulstermen are sick with a curse. And there's a lot of funny moments. There's a lot of killing. Yeah, because it's a raid, multiple raids. It's a war at this point. And there's a lot of history involved in where they're going and how they go about getting from one place to the other, which I thought was really interesting at first, and then it got old real fast. So there was like a little middle slump, which is funny because people talk about the middle slump in modern books in general, no matter the genre. Y'all, it was happening 2,000, 3,000 years ago. It's okay. It's just funny that no matter the time period, there are problems with the middle slump. And the last book, which was for the Celtophile Readathon, and yeah, The Toyn was for the Celtophile Readathon as well. Number 7, Etruscans by Michael Scott and Morgan Llewellyn. I read it, but did not rate it. I am going to be honest, I think Michael Scott wrote and came up with the majority of this novel, because this is not anything like what Morgan would write about or how she would write out this story, which is a shame. I don't know what to rate it, so I didn't. And it only got good from the second half, and that's not great, obviously. Like, I was really pushing through because it has Morgan's name on the cover, but it is really mainly Michael Scott, and I haven't read his other books, and he is very popular in the UK and Ireland, and I get it to like a certain extent, but then I don't know, like, this was supposed to be a multiple book series, at least from what I'm gathering from my research, but they canceled the second book, so there's only one book, and I can see why. I'm so sorry. This really hurts. It hurts, but like, ooh, that's why co-authoring novels, I don't do it. I wouldn't ever, I don't, ooh, you have to be a damn well amazing writer for me personally to co-write a book, because this is what happened, and Morgan is not in that book. Like, her writing style, nowhere to be found. So maybe she like came up with the concept and then Michael Scott wrote it, because I can tell by the first 5 pages it wasn't Morgan writing the book. It was Michael Scott and his writing quirks and all of that. So that was sad. It was. I am going to keep the book because it was damn well hard to find. But yeah, I have to get over it. I do. I just not happy about it. It's unfortunate, y'all. But that is my reading wrap up for March 2025 and for the Celtophile Readathon. Oh, yes. I see. Bad memory. Yeah, the Etruscans was part of the Celtophile Readathon. And for the prompt, read a book by Morgan Llewellyn. Pretty straightforward, right? I counted it because it has her name first and then Michael Scott, but I would say Michael Scott and Morgan Llewellyn. Yeah, so I got to all but 2 of my books for the Celtophile Readathon because, like I said in the beginning, busy, tired, stressed out. I don't read as much. Thank you so much for watching my reading wrap-up for March 2025, and thank you all so much again for joining in on the Celtophile Readathon. I will see you in the next video. Read, write, do whatever you need to do for self-care. Bye!